Welcome to Emancipated Studio. Welcome my uncle, Uncle Stu, the old man on the block.
Salute, 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 salute. Yeah, we got it going on in here today because I got to let you know that I was able to get my niece onto the platform today. You don't understand who my niece is, but you will finally get a chance to know who she is. Because some of you may know her in one place. Some of you may know her from another place. But let me tell you, she's going to lay it down for you right now. But before we go there, let me just give a big shout out to my people that is in the chat. To my brother Vaughn, salute, salute. To my young brother and my data engineer before the billions. To my brother always holding me down, Stephen Day. To my big sister by 2 months, Mosaic with TJ Randolph. And of course, y'all know, if y'all saw my video, y'all heard me say it to her, you sexy thing. Y'all gotta say thing on here, but on the video, I let her know she was my sexy. And to my brother, like no other, Millennial Mark TV is in the house. And then we got, let me see, hold on, I got two people. I got my brother who runs 2 different platforms. He runs YouTube Conversations, and now he changed his show to Women's Sphere versus the Manosphere, having conversation. And we got Just Being Jazzy podcast, clips and crafty ideas. I also want to give a big shout out because in the back, I just heard my son and my future daughter-in-law is here. So they're now in the back holding it down for their big uncle. And of course, we got Dre Blanco in the house. And we got Truth is Never Favored in the house. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I also want to give a big shout out to all the people who showed up for the 757-hour meetup. It may not have been as big as Georgia, but it was still nothing but love, fellowship, friendship. It was beautiful. So I just want y'all GA people to know that we did it. We did it good, and we definitely going to do it again. So we're going to have a big time tonight. But ladies and gentlemen, you did not come here to hear Uncle Stu talking. What you heard was you wanted to see his niece. So now, ladies and gentlemen, when Georgia couldn't really find their peach, they called this woman. And when it was time to travel the world, everybody called on this woman. And when the HBCU, TSU needed a representative, they called this woman. So ladies and gentlemen, giving up for the one and only, my niece, Courtney Michelle.
That is the best intro ever in my life. When I tell you, I'm going to record that every show that I get on, they will be required.
They'll be required
to do that. Yes.
They got to do that. They got to do that. They got to do the catch up, right?
Got to do that.
I want to tell you, it is an honor to have you hang out with your uncle. A lot of people don't know I have been following you for months. I've watched you when you first appeared on Lapive, and then all of a sudden you took a world tour on me from California all the way overseas to the UK. I said, boy, she just doing big things. Then turn around, took a sabbatical, and then came off the sabbatical and bam, there she is, got her own platform. chilling at 5K. I was like, hey, that's my niece. That's my niece. Yeah, had to brag about you. I am so proud of you.
Thank you. And I'm proud of you. Like I said, I've been a fan, I've been there with you, supporting you, and your growth, your shows, the people that you have connected with, the people that just absolutely love you. And there's a reason why you're an awesome person, period, inside and out. So I'm truly thankful to be here with you, for sure.
Thank you. It is definitely an honor. It is definitely an honor. One of the things that when I use the word attraction, I don't want to take it out of context. Attracted me to you was because I understand the intellectual mind. And when I say that, it's because you came from a strong HBCU background and you've always stood up for the Black community. And two of the HBCUs that I sort of like gravitate to is Winston-Salem State in North Carolina and Hampton University. Now, I'm supposed to give a shout out to North Carolina Central. I don't want culture coming after me. So shout out to Central. But let's talk about, because now we're having new arguments when it comes to HBCUs. One of the new arguments that I'm going to say is support for HBCUs. We know, quote unquote, the last administration gave all this money to HBCUs. What's the benefit that you would say for people to go to a HBCU over a PWI? And for those that don't understand, predominantly white institutions.
Right. I like you said before, being a graduate at Tennessee State University has been impactful still in my life. So I grew up in an all white area. And I can remember, different jokes. Oh, she must eat pig feet, white women, boys trying to touch my hair or trying to like me because they've never, kissed a Black girl. And so you're the token. I always felt uncomfortable without being around people besides my family, but having really good girlfriends that look like me. So I saw, Lord, a different world.
Okay.
And it opened my eyes, and I was like, there's a school with all these Black people, and they're smart and they're beautiful. I said, where they at? And so that got me to thinking that that's where I wanted to go. So when I applied to college, I just knew I wanted to go to a Black school because I wanted the experience. I wanted to be around people that look like me. I just really wanted to feel a place where I belonged. And when I went to TSU, it happened. And I say this a lot of times. I said it was my Wakanda. So I don't know if you remember if you went to the theaters and when you saw Wakanda and how empowered you felt and you walking out,
Yeah.
You walked in with your dashiki on and your cookies, and you just was proud. And it was proud because you was around people that looked like you and that was smart and that was beautiful, but different. They were, hoteps and conservatives and gay, straight, Christian, Buddhist, Nation of Islam. I was surrounded by so many different types of Black people that I honestly didn't know existed. I just thought Black people was like this.
Right.
But I felt a sense of pride. And not only, did I get an amazing education, I learned a lot about life. And I met, the people I went to school with is my family. So when we say, when I go back to homecoming, it's a family reunion and it's just so much love. And when I travel, I have someone to connect to. It's like, oh, I'm going to Atlanta. Oh, well, Cheryl and them from TSU, they graduated here, they're here, they'll hook you up. Oh, I'm going to California. Bet. Let me tell you who's in California that went to TSU. So it's the networking, the jobs that I've gotten offered for being at TSU, because we look after each other. Right. And to this day, I know that I can call on someone that went to my school if I needed anything, a place to stay.
Right.
Because it's happened before when I moved. It was like, oh, we got you a job. So it was a life experience that I have going to a school of people that look like me but different ideologies. And it just opened my eyes up to what my culture really is. And I just fell in love. And I love HBCUs. I give back yearly,
Mhm.
and I will continue to do so.
That's awesome because I think that's what makes New York City so unique because everything you said we experienced coming out of high school. You
Hmm.
know, that community where you have the diversity of religion, diversity of thought, just that whole community.
Hmm.
You know, no one's really fighting over each other. At least when I came out of New York, no one was really fighting. It was just the love. You know,
Yeah.
you just knew who you was. But now we look at today. Do you
Hmm.
still see that love today compared to when you came out of college?
It's in the HBCU, the
If, well,
people there.
you or community at large, or if you want to separate the two, that's fine.
Hmm. So like I said, I go back to my school with as much as I can, but for sure every year, where I am on campus, we do every year where we go to our dorm room where we stayed on freshman year, give gift bags for the new girls that are there. We do scholarships that I'm a part of to give back to make sure someone at least have book, school money for books or help with tuition. So, but do I still see the camaraderie there? Absolutely.
Okay.
Um, but we take care of our own,
Yeah.
which I think a lot of people don't understand. When you go to TSU and you're involved, I mean, this is a lifelong thing.
All
Like
right.
my mom went to TSU, and she still gives back and still goes. My granddad went to TSU. So it's interesting when we talk about legacy and how they do it at Harvard and Yale. Well, we do it at HBCUs
Mhm.
where no, granddad went there, mom went there, you're going there.
Right.
So I definitely still see it in schools. In our community, uh, that's a whole nother question.
That is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Let me see if I can angle it this way.
Okay.
I'm going back to the 1980s for me. Um, 1980s, in spite of the fact that it was considered historically the crack era, but
Mm-hmm.
it was also historically the community era. It was our era where hip hop became known. It was the era in which we began to be a little bit more conscious. It's
Mm-hmm.
the era in which a lot of people my age was starting to study the literature of Malcolm X, the literature of W.E.B. Du Bois. Um, you had the conscious community back then. Um, you had the 5%ers on one side, Zulu
Mm-hmm.
Nation on the other side. We didn't have Crips and Bloods then.
Right.
Um, but everybody fought for everybody in their own little way. It was part of the what we call the intellectual class,
Mm-hmm.
conservative intellectual class, where we was, before Nelson Mandela, we was following Winnie Mandela.
Hmm.
So yeah, I got a little age on me. I got a little
Okay.
age on me.
Okay.
So
Uh-huh.
we all fighting under Winnie Mandela. Um, back then we was fighting for that international trade. Back then we was fighting to do trade with Africa. Um, Back then we didn't, yeah, you had your bad group, but you had choices of whether you wanted to be bad or not, if that makes
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
so when I see community today, um, I'm seeing a horribly divided community based on a lot of arguments
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't have an end result of solutions.
Right.
Now, that's what I see. What
Right.
do you see maybe being more actively involved in community?
Um, well, I'm seeing now it's the focus is off community and it's more on individualism, meaning, I got mine, you get yours. I'm worried about my house, my kids, not worried about yours. Leave, I'm seeing where we're not community based.
Mm-hmm.
And again, for me, I've been community based because again, I grew up with going to a HBCU. It's based in community where we're not going to let each other fail. And if I'm successful, I'm going to help you succeed. If you move to another city, I'm going to make sure that you are in a area where you can, be successful in job, and I have a couch for you to lay on until you get on your feet. That's where my mindset has been with going to school, and that has always been how I thought of things
Mhm.
until kind of like now, where I'm getting in or out of my bubble, and
Okay.
I'm seeing other people and other Black folks not think like me, and I'm used to different ideologies, but it always was community based. Like, I can think different from you politically, but at the end of the day, we are still together as one. Where now it's no, we not, and we fighting. And so the fight amongst each other, um, for a minute, it's taken me to kind of get used to, because again, I guess maybe I was more naive about it, but I figured we all was for Black people. We all wanted us to, maybe, I hate to say it, but yeah, I'll go and pick you Black. So okay, I will help you out a little more.
Right.
That's how I was.
Right.
That's my train of thinking. So I'm thinking this is how we all think it. Like, yeah, we Black, so we gonna make sure we good.
Right.
But everybody doesn't think like that, and a lot of us don't. And I don't know if that's for our detriment, because I just don't see how we can grow as a community if we're not thinking community based. If I'm just thinking of myself and selfish things, and my home is all right and you have to fight for yours. Like, I get taking responsibility, but I also get, I'm in an organization.
Mhm.
So I'm not talking here. But it's the oldest Black organization as far as with women, National Association of Colored Women's Club,
Okay.
founded in 1849. So this is before sororities.
Okay.
And our motto is lifting as we climb.
I heard that.
So I've always thought of that's been my motto. Like, as I'm going up, I'm great bringing my sister up. I'm going to help her out. If I know something that's beneficial for her, I
Mhm.
got you. So that's been my mind state, and not seeing Black people have that has been eye opening for me.
Where, if you had to put it, you see who showed up in the chat. Did we not do I did a video where I said Chicago Rilla showing love to Courtney. So you know he was going
my brother.
to
Not my brother. Hey, Rilla.
if we had to put a finger on it, where do you think the breakup came? And it's going to be a double question. Where do you think this individualism came from? And how can we fight to get it back to where your experience and my experience came from?
That's a great question. Where did it begin? I think one of well, this is honest. I think
No,
one
be
of
honest. This
I
is
think
no.
one of the downfalls of our community was integration. We
Mhm.
decided we wanted to assimilate in a culture that, quite frankly, doesn't and never has, and probably never will embrace us and love us for who we are as Black folks. So when we tried to assimilate and be like, quote unquote, the white man,
Mhm.
it broke a lot of things, broke up our families with the crack epidemic, fathers being out the home, mothers, allowing this and that. So that's a whole conversation within itself. But assimilation, I think, um, broke up our. We was all we had.
I'm going to say, to cover you on that, my father,
Mm-hmm.
and y'all pray for him. He's now going through slight dementia.
Mm.
But my father would have boldly agreed with you. And I've
Mm-hmm.
heard my father
Mm-hmm.
constantly say that integration was one of the worst things that happened to the Black community. And my father grew up in Spartanburg. He grew up in the hardcore.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard older men in North Carolina, especially out of Winston-Salem,
Mm-hmm.
speak about the same thing. So you're not the first person I've heard
Yeah.
that. And, I would definitely try to reach out to older Black people
Mm-hmm.
and really have that conversation. what integration was supposed to do versus what it did.
What it has done.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. We
It's a good
can't
conversation.
put the genie or that
Can't put it back in the lamp.
can't
That
put
is
it back in
very
the lamp.
true.
Can't put it back in the lamp.
Yeah.
We got to start somewhere.
Right.
As content creators, where do we start? If you had to say, I want to see this started, at least the good conversation with actionable results,
Mm-hmm.
where would you say that conversation needs to be started?
I think the conversation has been started where we have talked about the problems with our community. I think that we all agree, whether whatever spectrum that you're on, is that the main issue that we need to get back to is our nuclear family. So I definitely agree that, and I think that we can agree that that's been our, getting families together. So that's why you hear about Pookies and Ray Rays and the baby
Right.
mamas. Like, I get it. But at the end of the day, I think at its core is, in order for us to be successful and better as a community, we have to get mommy and daddy back in the home, raising well prepared children. So that's where I think that we can kind of all agree. And what we're not agreeing on is the resolve. So as content creators, I get sometimes tired. And again, I had to take a break
Mm-hmm.
because I just get tired of just hearing the same old BS about, how bad we are, how bad we are. We never say anything about what we do that's good. And it's
Right.
not marketable. What's marketable is pain. What's marketable is misery. What's marketable is hurt. And it always has been. And I guess maybe it always will be, but it has to be some kind of space where someone can see that we are doing good, that Black women are not all twerking or uneducated, where Black men are not hypersexualized and don't have discipline, that are educated. Like, it has to be kind of space where we can see that. And it has
Right.
to be a space where we can let the world know that, we Black folks, y'all might see us as this and that, but this is another image that needs to be shown, and it's not going to be on TV. It
I,
hasn't been in a long time.
I totally agree with you. I'm trying to create that space. I'm trying to create
Yeah.
where, you know, raising up Black men and showing them on a platform that is positive, and then having those conversations with educated Black women.
Yeah.
You know, that's not running around and cussing every man out and trying to send them into the backwoods somewhere.
Yeah. Believe it or not, right? There's actually great Black women that exist that want what Black men want. I was listening to a content creator the other day, and a guy, I'll shut him out, Angry Man,
Okay.
and he was so very passionate and was saying, we need a space where there are men that really want relationships and want to be married. There got to be a space where it's okay for them to say that and not be called simps or, degraded because they want to be, want to love a woman, a Black woman. It has to be a space where there's women, i.e. TJ, that it's okay. I can tell you what I've done, but how I got there and how I'm married. And how marriage is good for us, and how sometimes women, we need to scale it back and stop being so manly in relationships and let the man be the man. So, and like you are fostering these conversations that are showing, intelligent Black men and Black women. We might not agree, but we can have these conversations, and we all are on one accord of wanting a resolve. Like, everything I ain't gotta fight you all the time.
I
I'm tired of
totally
fighting.
agree. I totally agree. And I
Mhm.
love my Black woman. I love my Black woman.
I know you do. I know you do.
Yeah, I love my Black woman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but you're absolutely right. So, you let Angry Man know. Uncle Stu got this platform. Tell him I got some connections in the North Carolina too. So, I'm in that little area. I've been there about 17 years. I got some
Yeah.
in North Carolina. But you're absolutely right. I think, you know, for this platform, I want to bring the best of the best.
Mm-hmm.
The best of the best in conversation, the best of the
Right.
best of minds. Again, I grew up with conservative talks over here, and I don't even want to say far left wing conversations. We all talked, we all agreed on a problem,
Mm-hmm.
and once we agreed on the problem, everybody went back to do something to solve
Mm-hmm.
whatever that problem is. One of the problems that I'm noticing, or I've heard, and this was something Obsidian brought up on
Mm-hmm.
Bernard Riley's channel. Talked about the illiteracy rate, and that's kind of
Mm-hmm.
personal to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be glad to share that. You know, in spite of all of my life, you know, I was illiterate all the way up to the 6th grade.
Wow.
Yes. But because I was able to speak well,
Mm-hmm.
no one picked it up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I couldn't read, but I can speak. Until
Mm-hmm.
one day, I had one hardcore Black English teachers that caught me out there.
Mm-hmm.
Felt that I couldn't read.
Oh.
But what she did was she found something I was very interested in. And at that time, computers was just coming out.
Mm-hmm.
I got interested in computers. And because of my interest in computers, she would always put books about computers.
Mm-hmm.
And next thing you know, within 2 years, I was reading above the 12th grade reading level. So illiteracy is not just a word to me, it's personal to me.
I got it.
Now you can't stop me from reading. You know?
Yeah.
College graduate, everything, can't stop it now. But
That's awesome. So I didn't know that.
yeah, I don't, you know, I'll be honest with you. I don't share a lot of my history.
Why you think?
I don't share my history because I don't think a lot of people's really interested in what I did, more so than what they want to have accomplished. There's a lot that I've done, but you know, I find that everybody either want to complain about history, you know, and nitpick what they want out of history.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm about today's solution. I can sit up there and explain history all day long, but it may not solve what's today's problems, you know. So I don't really get, you know, that deep, that personal, you know, into my private life. But a lot of arguments you don't see me in because they're 20, 30, 40-year-old arguments. I have to say that.
I hear that.
I don't get into them because it's like, we had that argument 40 years ago. Let them young folk have that argument.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, but I'm that solution person. Give me 20% of the problem. Now let me spend 80% of my time trying to find a solution.
Right.
And that's where I am. And that's something that I saw so deep in you. Because you didn't run from problems. And people that don't really know a little bit of the backstory history, I saw a win. I remember your win.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning when you was the perfect woman, you was the it, you was the yay, and all of a sudden it was you. It was like,
it's true.
That happened within a week. And they tore you up.
Like that.
And I did do a video, you know, young content creator. Is Courtney Michelle a feminist? And I said, if anybody really see the video, they're going to see, if you know what the word feminist really means, and the way you've been talking, there's no way you can make that connection. But then I watched you go deep. I call it a listening tour. When you went into every manosphere space. And when I say every, I'm like, I never even knew them spaces existed. And I'm in the manosphere.
I be in it deep. I don't think a lot of people know. Really. Someone told me that actually today. They was like, you know a lot going on in the manosphere. And I said, I be in the streets.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
do.
yeah. But I am Courtney. I've been in the streets.
I mean, right. Let me clarify. Cause then they be like,
Yeah,
"Oh, Courtney go to streets," and then I be like, "No,
no, that's
YouTube,
not what we're talking about.
YouTube streets, the YouTube
YouTube
streets."
streets.
Right.
But let's go there for the moment.
Okay.
What did you learn on your listening tour? Because they came at you hard, and some came with legitimate arguments. So it wasn't that it became personal. It's, hey, these are our complaints. What did you really listen to, and what made you do what you did?
Mm-hmm. So, and I can piggyback a little bit where I was put on a pedestal on the Lapeef network. I think that I was because I came from a traditional standpoint as far as with my views. And I've always said I'm traditional because I'm Christian. So
Mhm.
all the views that I say is just out of Christianity. It
Right,
ain't it's not me making stuff up or trying to be cool.
right.
That's where it came from. And then there was a show where that all ended where, I got into with another woman
Mhm.
and debating her ideology. And then I think when people saw me getting away, or I guess maybe I had the trope of the angry black woman that show, and I was attacking another woman. Um, then it didn't matter anything that I've said. Um, that visual of me online, um, just I guess told made people think, well, she's a chameleon, and you know she's fake feminine,
Mhm.
and people were mean.
Mhm.
The reaction videos, it was like, what? Just because I got into it, and again, I'm on a show where I debate all the time, and I was debating back with a K all the time. So, I didn't know that it would turn that way. And then when it turned, it was sour, it was horrible. Um, yeah. So
Let me
that was something that I had to learn. Again, I didn't even know that I was going to be a YouTuber. I got into this by accident, and then it took off, and I was like, okay. Um
let me pause you right there.
mhm,
Do you believe, or in your observation, that there isn't a platform where you can see two women having an intellectual debate over a particular issue? Do you think that's missing, and therefore that image is not really seen?
hmm,
Because my observation,
mhm,
I'm an intellectual, so
mhm,
I've never feared the intellectual mind of a woman. I've never
mhm,
feared if both of us was picking up a book, and
mhm,
and you saw something from one perspective and I saw it from another, and we engage intellectually. You know, I'm really a sapiosexual. If
mhm,
you ain't got a brain, I don't want to talk to you. But
mhm.
I've seen this where today, and I don't see that. I don't see the intellectual conversation.
Because it's not there.
Okay. So it's
It's
not
not.
okay.
Not in this space that we're in. I think the only time you'll see a woman and a man, and the women that are champion is usually the more submissive of a woman that lets the man be the man. So there's no problems on those particular shows. Or a woman um, that you know are the fit, feminine, friendly women. So they have a show which do well. You
Mhm.
don't see two women that are intellects discussing and going back and forth. Um, And I don't know if this space would allow it because it's always going to be a good one and a bad one. And what I'm learning is that it's not necessarily about what you say, because a lot of these people that watch these shows are just hell bent that women are this, that women aren't a monolith, that if you're feminine and sweet, then you must be fake. or if you disagree and you might get loud, well, then you're just masculine and no one wants you and die alone. So there's not a space where I could go back and forth with a woman and it might get heated, which because I'm human.
Right.
No, because then I would be like some people call me now, oh, you are a chameleon, when it's just two intellectual people having a healthy debate, which might get heated, but you move on. Like, I'm going to get upset. I'm going to scream. I'm going to be like, what you over there doing now?
Right.
But it doesn't take away that I'm still a woman, and it doesn't take away my faith, and it doesn't take away me still being traditional. And with all that happened to me, no one, and to this day, no one has ever said, well, you said this, but now you going off this. The one thing that I've said is that I've been consistent. I might not have said it the way that you liked, or you thought that I should have said it, or approached the situation in the best way. But the one thing you can't say is that I've not been consistent, and my consistency doesn't necessarily come from just me. It's my faith. I believe a man leads the home, not because I want the men's favor or want to be a pick-me. It's because that's what my Bible says.
But don't we have the right and the dignity to change? In other words, who I was at 20 is not who I am at 30. And what I was at 30 is not who I am at 40. And me being over 40, I'm a different way at 50. Don't we have a right to change?
No. Obviously not. You're not allowed to change. You're not allowed to make mistakes, because people will. And then this is the space, and this is what I'm having to learn. And I'm having to learn to, put this in a space, and it's like, okay, this is YouTubing, and then go home and still be mommy, have my job and take care of things that I have to take care of, and still be the woman that I know God created me to be. So I've had to separate that. And for a while, that's why I had to take a minute, because I was smashing it all together. And I was thinking, we talked about like the red pill rage and how I was getting in it. I was consumed with a lot of content creators listening and feeling like, well, damn, it's me, and maybe I'm bad, and they thinking about this women and women nature. Well, I'm a woman, so it was making me feel a way about myself. And a lot of times that I'm hearing some stuff, it made me feel like ashamed of stuff that I can't change. My daughter's here. She's 6. So, Keep, you ain't nothing but a baby mama. Okay, but now what? She ain't going nowhere. That's my baby. So you still going back and forth. She just a baby mama. And so there's no, I've said this before. There's no grace.
If you got to, it's all right.
Well, there's no grace in this space for women.
I will say,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Your grace is here. I don't do talking points. Your grace is here. So when you've prayed for grace, you got it. Because I will share with you 2 private conversations. And one of them, I told both of these individuals, I'm putting y'all on the platform, and I'm going to just sit in the back, and I'm going to just control the keys. Intentional Millionaire had an awesome intellectual conversation with Brown Eyes. And I mean, they talked for about an hour and a half. And it was the male-female conversation. Their awareness, their own individual self-awareness was so mind-boggling. And I said, oh my God, I should have been recording this. And they understood why I said it. It wasn't just the likes, the clicks, and the views. It was 2 grown adults having that male-female conversation. How does a woman think? How does a man think? Why does a man think this way? And why, and it wasn't a back and forth where she was, in the masculine or however they want to say it. That conversation was awesome. We also had that conversation in the back scene about dating a woman with children. And I was on the side of, nah, I don't do that. yada, yada, yada. I'm not going to tell a man to do this. I'm not going to tell. But she brought me a conversation in a whole different way. I said, you know what? I never saw it that way. So those two conversations will have to take place, and it will be public so that people can see it. I always say, what people can't see, they can't envision.
Right.
So if you've never seen a man and woman having an intellectual conversation without name calling, without belittling, without putting people in a box and all this other stuff, then you don't really know what that looks like.
I agree.
Because if we've never taught what I call the beauty of agreeing to disagree agreeably, then we don't know. And communication is horrific. It's horrific. And I know you've been through that. And I know it tore you up. I've been through it. Still go through it.
Yeah.
If I don't say certain spaces, if I don't say all the talking points, I'm going to be questioned. If I don't say all of it, I'm going to be questioned. But mine is, with all of your talking points, how much are you living out what we need to be living out?
Right.
I don't live in talking points. I respect experiences, but what are we going to do about it? Because I could call you every name in the book. After that, what's the solution?
Yeah.
What's the solution? So.
Yeah. And Uncle Sue, I agree with you. And like I said, when a lot of the things happened and the reaction videos and, the comments and people in my DMs, I've gotten death threats, mind you. Now, I'm like, now what in the world am I saying that deserves someone that wants me gone?
Yeah.
But what I do take from that, which I think is a blessing is in disguise, is that it's made me stronger. And it's made me fearless. I'm not scared of anybody. And you can say whatever you want to say, have your videos made. I'm still here.
Right.
You didn't scare me off. As a matter of fact, I made my own platform where I am now comfortable in saying whatever the hell I want to say.
Right.
And I'll be on there acting a fool sometimes. I didn't call somebody, if you don't get your bimbo ass off my show. I've said it before, sure did. And it's freedom. Because now I'm not in a box anymore. I'm not in the box of, you're not feminine. Well, sometimes I'm not. I like football. I drink IPAs, and I like to shoot firearms. I love guns. So sometimes I do. I have 3 brothers, have a dad, I have a stepdad. So there's a tomboy in me here. So sometimes I'm not. So get me out of this box, because I don't want to be in a box, because I'm so much more than this woman, and I'm not all that dainty sometimes. Yeah, I'm not. When I play spades and dominoes,
like some sisters do. Yeah.
Hello? It's you. Well, I'm not. When I play spades and I play dominoes and I got the big joker, I'm cussing you out. What now? You getting all this ghetto.
You play bones? You know how to play some bones?
That's a big six. Let's go.
I'm about to slam it on you.
You don't want none of this. You see how I had to scoot back.
You better know how to count. I'm just telling you.
Okay, look, okay. But it's a blessing, I think, in disguise, which I didn't know going through it. But here's the thing, and I say this, and for me as a testimony, like, man, go through the fire, but once you get out, then what? And the thing is, I know that I'm strong, and I know God got me, because regardless of any attack, I'm still standing. And I'm still doing what I want to do, whether you like it or not. I'm doing what I think is best for me. And it feels good. It's freeing not to be under I guess maybe an umbrella, but I'm supposed to act this way and I can't say this. And oh, Courtney said a cuss word. Sure damn did. Sure damn did. And it feels good. No, it's a blessing, and I'm grateful, and and I'm glad that people can see me. I want people to see me joking and laughing and crying and hurting, because at the end of the day, I'm a real person.
We're going to Tennessee so I can whoop you in some bones. So you shouldn't.
You don't want none of that.
You give me a pint of my bones.
You don't want none of this, baby.
Bringing the table. All right. Thank you, Joe Wiz, man. I hope I'm like TLA. I hope I can pronounce people's names right. Look, amazing, Courtney, as usual. I'm happy that you are acting like yourself. I can tell when you first started on YouTube, you was reserved. Yes, yes.
Absolutely.
And the one and only Friendsgiving. Salute to you. Thank you for the $25 super chat. Uncle Stu and Courtney, both of your voices are valued and needed. The honesty and hard truth you bring, and refreshing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And let me give a big shout. See, your aunt. See, your aunt be doing stuff. I'm gonna talk about it because she in the chat. So your aunt be doing stuff, be dropping hints, and every time she level up, baby brother gotta level up.
Okay, then.
You know what I mean? Her man bought her house with a fireplace.
Yeah.
Brown eyes gotta get a house with a fireplace.
I didn't tell you. I'm coming down there with TJ.
And then turn around. TJ went and got her man a chef. Guess what? Where you at, Chef Shapiro? Chef Shapiro was like, he got that Brooklyn, that deep Brooklyn.
He does.
He's
too cool for me. This how he act. He's too cool. Yeah, well,
yeah.
Like the Godfather.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I'm from Brooklyn. Oh, he's Godfather all day.
Yeah, he Godfather all day. So the first thing he's gonna tell me is, Uncle Stu, I got you. You just tell me what you need. I come and get it. So I'm like, all right, I got a personal chef, and he come from another. See? So you can't mess with me. I got this.
We'll invite him down to cook while I whoop your ass in some bones.
Hey, say you're about to get it. Healing Force Wellness, thank you for the $20 super chat. But what I will ask, because I love the fact that you say you're no longer in the box, and I think that I love to hear that process. Not only just for women, but I'm going to tell you, I have some brothers that when I say we are friends, we are friends. And we often talk about, at least lately, the reinventing of ourselves, the reorganization, the refocusing, because it's not just part of the branding, it's just part of us. Help us to understand, what does that look like from the inside, and then what does it now look like on the outside?
So for me, I had to take a step back. So when all that was happening, I had to pause, dip, leave, and take a step back and kind of reflect, because a lot of things happen and it happened quick. And I had to make sure first that if I was going to do this, I had to be mentally prepared to do it, because I wasn't then. It took a toll on me where I was at night, I was crying. So I had to take a step back, like, okay, Courtney, if this is what you're going to do or want to do, you're going to have to toughen the hell up. Because once your platform grows more, it's going to be more eyes, and not everybody is there for you, and people want to see your downfall. Are you prepared for that? Are you prepared for people to attack you personally? Are you prepared for people to, attack you as a mother, attack you as a person in your school and your ideologies? Are you prepared? And if you are, how do you want to go about it? And I'm like, you know what? If I was able to go through that and still stand, then what else? And so I just prepared myself. I said, God, this is for me. It's going to be for me. Let me start my own platform where I can speak about the things that I want to talk about, what is important to me. And I kind of started from there. So now you'll see me tiptoe backing over on, the Peef Network or other shows
Right.
in here. Because I know what I'm getting myself into. You can't prepare for a war if you don't know who you battling.
I like that. Well, you got some Sun Tzu in you, huh?
You
got some water war in you, huh?
all day. Right.
Water war. You want to make me watch Catalina again,
Go ahead. So I had to, So I had to find out who I'm battling with.
Right.
And it's not people, because people gonna say whatever to be relevant or to say something in the comments, but
Right.
I'm battling myself. Are you smart enough to go into conflict without being ghetto and a hot mess? Are you able to articulate your ideas? Are you able to learn? Are you able to publicly admit when you're wrong? So the rebranding, I don't know what the rebranding is. Not worrying about a brand right now. I just want to put out content, and I just want people to see me as who I am. And, you can call me a chameleon, but I will say this. A part of being a chameleon is being adaptable. The most consistent thing on this world is change. And if you can't adapt to change, then you're going to fail, period. So me being chameleon means that I can I can F up, but I can adapt to that, straighten my shit up, and get back on the road to success. And I'm going to mess up again, but I'm going to get back up again.
I'm going to say something, and hope Angry Man don't get mad, but Obsidian says something to you. Look, they got a battle going on. I just want to have intellectual talk. But Obsidian said something, and when he said it on the platform, I think I was up there that day, I laughed. I said, he kind of right. He said to you, I like a little spicy woman.
He just said that. Like a little spicy.
And I said, Obsidian, I like mine a little spicy. Mine like to throw a hand on her hip. It's like, yeah, go ahead, all right now. This is a G-rated show, so I can't say anything. But yeah, I like spiciness. What's wrong with little spicy? I just want to know. I just want to know, is that an anti-talking point? I just need help now.
I know. Am I allowed to be a little spicy? Some people say no, I'm not. I'm supposed to shut the hell up. And sometimes I do, but sometimes I'm not. But this is why I'm on here. I'm not here to be quiet.
Well, I don't need you being quiet when I'm trying to whoop you in some bones now. Don't be sitting up there just getting me a sandwich and say, okay, go ahead, Stu. I'm coming slamming.
Look, I don't do nicks. No, I'm going 10, 15, 20, 25, baby.
And my big sister, by 2 months, grow them. Yes, ma'am. Let's take it from, we both talked about, I like the fact that you said stop rebranding and just build content. I'm going to pretend that there's a woman out here who has been through some things. She done been through the marriage. She's raising children. She's hearing all the manosphere talking points. She knows what, let's say, she did wrong in her past relationship. But she's finally trying to really become, I'm using this word loosely, the good woman. She wants to become the good wife.
Yeah.
But then she's hearing you and you're like funny, sassy, edgy, educated. Everything that I feel a normal woman is. But she's hearing the box. and you've come out the box. Can you talk to that woman about coming out the box and just being a woman, but understanding the difference of Courtney Michelle, the woman, and maybe the image where you have women who are nasty. There's a difference between, talking junk over a card table and then talking something in a restaurant.
Right.
So can you help some women out here maybe with that language? And then we're going to flip it to the males in that language. Because I think that can be a gray area if not properly understood. Let me just get this shout out. Woo! Thank you for the $10 super chat. Compared to the average black woman, you are a good black woman, Courtney. I can never understand why these black men would attack you. You have always defended black men from the beginning. Let me take a pause.
I don't know either.
I'm gonna speak to this man, but I'm not giving a pass, but I am gonna speak to it. I used to be in red pill rage. You couldn't tell me nothing when I was in red pill rage. I was down, and all I could see was a lot of women speaking a certain kind of way, acting a certain kind of way, doing certain kind of things. And I didn't want to hear from no woman. Now, I've said it on my podcast, and she's coming back again. The person that got me out of red pill rage was a woman. And the woman that got me out was Shalakemia. Because it was the first time I ever heard a black woman speaking positive about a black man, at least for the bubble I was in. I also need people to understand that sometimes we have displaced anger. Sometimes we have displaced aggression. And when we don't know what healthy conversations and looks, it's going to be there. So sometimes women has done it for years. Got mad at a choice they made and blasted every man. And you just happen to have been that choice that everybody can just yell at. I'm not justifying it. But if I tried to take a holistic look, that's what it was. And I'm trying to make sure that I can create a space for men that want to be married, men that want real relationships, men that says, Uncle Stu, how do I go from here to here? How do I communicate with a woman? How do I talk to a woman? How do I really address a woman? I understand their talking points, but I also know that there's certain talking points we can get around.
Yeah.
If I can get two sides to talk, not yell, not cuss, not fuss, talk. What do you say?
Yeah. And to answer that question, because I agree with you, Uncle Stu. Like I said, I told you I had a little red pill rage within myself. So I get it, and it's real. It's a real thing. Once they say the red pill. When you take the red pill, you open your eyes, and things aren't sugar coated anymore, and you deal with what's reality. So I definitely get that, and I think what happened with me was they saw a black woman in the image of what they want their woman to be, and I was reserved, more docile, not over talking and speaking like a lady. And once I got in my emotions and angry and battling out on a show, that red pill rage came back and was like, she's like everybody else. She's like every other woman. She's a modern woman. And so I honestly think that's what it is. Like the fantasy that they had of a black woman being the woman they wanted to be was taken from them. And so there wasn't that image of that black woman on there anymore. And the thing is, that's not reality. I can have the most traditional views. Again, I have it because of my faith. but I am modern. I pay all my bills. I have a job. I have a career. I'm not married. I have a child out of wedlock. I'm the normal Black woman that is trying to get it right. But the thing is, I'm never going to get it right because no one ever arrives. I'm always going to be evolving. I'm going to make mistakes. And for the Black woman that's listening to me that wants to get it right, the thing is look at your results. If what you've been doing is not getting you the results, then it's something that you have to change. I would say that to men. If it's something that you're doing constantly and you keep getting the constant results and it's not in your favor, then you're going to have to change something. I had to change something within myself. Even being a YouTuber, the results that I was getting, the comments, it was like, this is not what I want to convey on the internet. What I do on here is going to last forever. And I have a daughter and I want her to see her mother in an amazing light. So that's me being very careful on the platforms I go on, who I befriend. It's me being very careful and not just busting out saying things like before I answer any question, thinking about it first and then saying it. A lot of times we get it heat in the movement. No, I don't like that nigga, and it's like, no.
Oh, you can't be like your crazy uncle when he go on platform.
Right, I'm saying, but I can't as a woman, I can't. So right. It's me now, okay. So right. I'm more conscious, and I tell my daughter this, and I need to take heed to my advice, is before you do anything, think of the consequences, the good and the bad. Before you do anything, before I say something that comes out of my mouth, I'm going to think about it and think about the repercussions. And so that's kind of how I move different. Again, I'm never going to get it right because I'm not perfect and I'm going to get it wrong again. But the idea is me growing from it and surrounding myself with people like you that will hold me accountable and people that I trust, that I know that you have my best interest at heart.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because, you're only 4 years older than my oldest daughter. I mean, looking at you is like looking at my oldest daughter. I got daughters, I got sons. I mean, one passed, but I got sons. I got people I got to answer to. I got a bunch of nieces. I can tell them I'm broke. I'm waiting on my welfare check, But I got nieces, but at the end of the day, I got me. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, all I got is my name.
Right.
And that's the one thing that I cherish above all is my name. And name means character.
Right.
And I have to be like you. I have to change. There are things that I have to read and study and get an in-depth understanding. One of the things that I don't do is I don't really follow statistics. Because when in high school, they told us statistically we wouldn't make it past the age of 24. Statistically, I ain't supposed to be here. So my attitude is, let me see the statistics, but guess what? I'm gonna beat every statistic you give me. And that's how I look at it. So if you say statistics say this, I'm going to prove that statistic wrong every single time.
Right. Right. Come on now.
By action. We've had a great conversation. So much I got my phone behind me, girl. Shouldn't have told me that. Me and Brown Eyes gonna have to go to Tennessee. You want to put it on you. And I'm gonna bring this person up.
Come on.
It's like,
come on, boys.
We're gonna have to do it. Put it on live. Be like,
I'm ready. Come on, I'm ready. Y'all need to see my skills.
See y'all. Bam.
Look, I'm being tired.
I'm saying money, bro. Don't call me out.
Look, I don't play when it comes to that or space. Gets real and heated. You want to see spicy, Courtney? Put me on the bone table.
Say, See, look, Healing Force Wellness said she coming.
Come on through.
And if I'm not mistaken, she's from Tennessee too. She's a
Hey,
nurse in Tennessee. Sure is.
come on, neighbor.
You know. Well, what I'm gonna do, Courtney, do you want to take any questions? You want to talk to anybody in the chat?
Yeah, I don't mind.
Because we have had awesome conversation.
I do think so.
Awesome. And I'm hoping that everyone really got to see Courtney and got to see a real woman,
Mm-hmm.
a mother, and a real human being.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's sometimes missing in this space, that there are real human beings behind these cameras that really wants to have the real conversation to get some real understanding and to really move the ball forward.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping today we can move that ball forward. I'm hoping, I can get people like Angry Man and Obsidian and other, Edwin Anderson, other content creators that where people may say, well, they're controversial, they're this and they're that. It's like, I don't want to deal with the controversy. I'm dealing with their intellect, because each one is on a different level.
That's right.
And I don't put one level above the other. I need everybody fighting to get this community right by any means necessary.
I'm with you.
Any means. All right, Vaughn, I have I'll lay it down. Look, I'm gonna show you. I cheated. I got this. I got my own voiceover. The TLA, TLA be popping his collar. I know, TLA listening, he be popping his collar. I got some time. I know what he doing. He got a little song. Look.
Welcome to the Emancipated Studio, where you are welcome to engage with guests and the panel. Please stay on topic and be respectful to our guests and panel. Be sure to have your camera on while in the back of the studio so that you may be verified by Uncle Stu, and then you may turn your camera off while participating on the panel. You have given up all rights to any footage and clips which can be used by Uncle Stu and his staff. Now please hit the link again and welcome to Uncle Stu's Emancipated Studio.
See, I stepped up the game.
Excuse me. Oh no, that's so much better than mine, because mine be like, hey, y'all get your ass up here. I just got to do better.
Look, I'm gonna call Chef tomorrow. I'll be like, Chef, give her your chef voice and hook her up.
Yes, I want a man voice. Chef's voice would be perfect.
Yeah,
it would be perfect. I'm gonna hit him up. That would be. I love that. So that is amazing.
But you know where I get it from? I have to admit, I thank the people that's been around me, and I thank the content creators that's come before me. Because I learned from different people. Of course, I came out of the TLA wing, so you learn, hey, when you build this platform, you're gonna have to put work into your content. You gotta grow. I listen to the inside of things that even O'Shea Jackson talks about when he says, hey, when you get a little money, you need to put it back into your studio. You need to constantly reinvest in yourself. And then, you hear from just other content creators, little things, and those little things can make a big difference. And being that we have so many people who all they want to do is take down other people's platforms, I don't get it. I tell you the biggest thing that I don't get, and it really hurts me, is that in today's time, it's the first time historically Black people got the mic. What are we doing with it?
You know what? That is a word. That is an absolute word. It is the first time. See, this is how I think of YouTube is we might not can control what the big wigs are doing in Hollywood. They say the color purple did this to our community. Well, I will also battle that. Also, Jews. Also, Boys in the Hood. Like, we seem to forget that it wasn't just the color purple. Okay, we've had so many negative imagery of Black men, of Black women, besides the color purple. However, this is the first time that if we don't like an image, we have the power to control it. You do. This is the first time that Black folks have a mic, whether your platform is 50 people to 50,000 to 50 million. You have an onus to change the imagery of Black people. What are we doing with it?
That's
And
right.
I hate to see that the things that some people are doing with it is irresponsible and placating into the negative imagery of Black folks. So I absolutely agree. I never really thought about it that way, but I love that. I love that, Uncle Stu.
Yeah, because I I have one of the most humbling honors work with Frank Gooden, who's an entertaining filmmaker. I'm I'm one of his voice. Well, I guess you could tell I'm the voiceover and I'm the preacher. But I've already sent in my voice clip to him, so it's getting edited and done. But one of the things that he talks about is the image of who we are. And because he speaks so highly of the movie image, and he even gives us real history lessons about those images. I grew up under Spike Lee as the independent filmmaker.
Right.
And I always compare him to Spike Lee because Spike Lee was talking about Do the Right Thing. Spike Lee, when we did the Million Man March, Spike Lee was talking about colorism. People got mad because after Spike Lee movie, the dark skinned chick became the sex symbol. But he spoke about it.
Right.
He spoke about what was going on in HBCUs, the whole brown bag thing. I mean,
the paper bag test. Yes.
So I mean, he been on it, and so when I do content now, I really try to study what I'm putting out there, especially if it's just original content, not okay. I just had this nice 2-hour conversation. I'm gonna clip this and clip that. I'm talking about original content, and one of the things that that really digs into me was the illiteracy, because I say, what good is it to say I got a PhD? I don't care if you're a man or a woman. What good is it to say I got this book on how to get a woman, or I got this book on how to get a man, or I got this book on how to do this, and the very people that should be reading the book can't read?
Well,
and then I take the further dig. Everybody says, well, we're powerless, we're oppressed, we're this, and I'm still looking for the white man that stops you or I from going to the next door neighbor's kids and teaching them how to read for 30 minutes. I'm still looking for the white man that stops you or I.
He's not there.
Right. For teaching that same kid money management. If we say, at least this is my thinking, and I've been willing for somebody to challenge it. If we say the white man did this, the white man won't teach our history, the white man won't, we got a whole bunch of white men won't do. My question is, then why are we waiting on the white man? Why are we not doing it? Why are we not teaching Black history?
Right.
Why we want someone else to teach it to our kid when we should be teaching it? Why we're not teaching our own children economics? Why are we waiting on the school to teach economics? Why are we not teaching our own kids how to read? But I focus on the Black boys because all the system, Black women is good. My Black males can't read. Obsidian had the numbers. It was like, he listed a bunch of states. The best states only had 12%. 12% of Black men can read above the 3rd grade reading level. I don't get it. But we're fighting and having intellectual debates behind our cushion walls. Whether my cushion wall is in my room and I call it my studio, or your cushion wall is in the corner of the bedroom. we having all these debates and blank, but wait a minute. Can we take 30 minutes of our life? It's free. Pick up a book and teach a kid how to read.
All right, now you got to have you about to start a whole reading rainbow up in there. All right. Take a look at that book. All right.
Does anybody want to come up? Else, we gonna let Miss Courtney get back to the little one.
Yeah. She's back there probably burning up some.
You know, you already heard me say who I'm blaming. Look, I got him in the living room. He's like, excuse me, Carter with a K did it. Told you, I'm getting used to blaming the grands real quick. You know, but I don't know. I just want to see solutions. I just want to see. My pet peeve is this. I don't have time to fight everybody in the manosphere. I don't have time to fight all the women. Because I see some serious things going on. You know, I got my military troops getting ready to go fight Russia. And I said it earlier, but I'll say it for the people in the chat. And it's probably going to be the most blatant statements I've ever had to make. Russia don't give a shit about your colorism. They don't give a shit about your feelings. They don't give a shit about your trauma issues. They don't give a damn. You're an American. Yeah. How I know? The real people who really travel, not the ones that, the Google says, or read some freaking book. I've been overseas. I know what true oppression looks like. I know what it's like when you can't speak against your government. Me and you, we can cuss out Biden all day and wake up in the morning. Try that in another country and see if you can wake up.
No, you definitely cannot.
You know, black women crying about they not free. Let me take you to a real country where women ain't free. And let me see what you got to say. When you go over there, they do not call you African American, Black American, Negro American. They don't call you none of that. You call American. And when they go after you, they're going after you because you're American, which means everything that Russia do affects America. That's why your gas prices are starting to go up.
Lord.
I tell people, you don't think we can be touched? Go back and study 9/11. Go back to 9/11. You know, guess what? That was a war against America and it hit American soil. You know, so it's serious if people don't take it that way. I want black people to know that. Do you also realize that in today's times, I know black people love to talk about buy black, but do you realize we can finally have an international economy? We are international. Every time you open up your YouTube page, you talking to the world.
That's right. You are.
And
look at your own analytics. Who you talking to? I was surprised. I was like, who listening to me in Zimbabwe?
I got people in, you know, well, I got my partner from China. Then I talk to people in the UK. Then I talk to people in Mexico. And I'm talking to people in Nigeria. And I'm talking to people in Canada. Don't play.
But that's to not to belabor the point, but to what you said, what are we doing with the microphone? Again, if we're going to change our image, we can do that now. Like I said, you talking to people around the world.
Right.
My little platform, the world.
Right.
So me showing and really being cognizant of me putting my best foot forward every time I'm on a platform. It's not only important to me, but it's important to, again, try to change the image of the Black woman. And that's important to me. I think image matters. And I'm just not going to placate in the stereotypical love and hip hop, ghetto ass Black woman. I can get that way, but it'll be off camera.
Right.
Nose off. Now let me tell you something. Yes.
In the bones are like, oh, Courtney, get on hell.
Where my OE? Yes. But it's gonna be off camera. You hear what I'm saying? You hear what I'm saying?
He said, yeah, UK.
Yeah. Off camera.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You know, look, I told you, I'm like Obsidian. I like spice. You know, you get
Look,
spice.
right.
You know, I tell you. But yes, we have the power to change the image, and it hurts me when certain platforms, not everyone, is when we have not recognized that power.
Yeah.
You know, when I'm seeing people who say, oh, we got trauma. But I had Nelson Counseling on this platform, and I don't see his YouTube page blown up to 2, 3, 4, 5K yet. So if you say you have trauma, and Uncle Stu talked about mental health, and getting ready to call it back again, why aren't these mental health professionals' YouTube page blown up?
Because we talk a lot of stuff about wanting it, but do we really want to? Do we really want healing? Are we just content in our mess and is willing to be around other mess and make our shit look better?
I'm going to say it this way. I think sometimes I think we got addicted to reality TV so much because reality TV made us look normal while we've seen something else a little bit
Look
more
at a mess.
normal.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Because if I only have one child acting crazy and you got 5 children acting crazy, then I'm okay.
I'm okay.
I'm good. You know, I'm good. So that's how I see it. Now, my homeboy floated in here. Look, see, that's my homeboy. See, in order to get SDMC, you know, I had to give like 10 grand to put in the bank account. So every time he show up, you know, he like a lawyer. He going by the hour. See, that's costing me. You know, his presence. You know what I'm saying?
I like it. I like it.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut the stream down. Just hold on, you know, just hang out with me for a few in the back. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank all of you for coming here on this platform. You could have been anywhere on these YouTube streets, but you came to hang out with Uncle Stu and his niece, Courtney Michelle. And I want to say thank you in the mighty name of Jesus. The Bible says that no weapon that is formed or fashioned against you, it cannot prosper. That every tongue that will rise up against you shall be and will be condemned. For the glory of the Lord is in this place, and it is on you. Do the work, show the work, and shut them down. But before we go, XDMC.
See, I have to come on, man.
that right there, Courtney, that just cost me $1,000.
Oh, God.
I have to come on when I said, man, why he doing me like that? Oh,
yeah. 1,000.
1,000. You know, it should be 5.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
But one love, Courtney. I've followed you in other platforms, and I enjoy you more on your own platform than when you was on others. But that's just me, you know, my opinion. But love your energy. What I wanted to say to just add on to this before you guys sign off is that these YouTube streets really in the last, I'm gonna say few weeks mainly, but I'm gonna say the last month has made me just want to say F it to I put on my jazz on my Spotify and just stick with blind guy and his wife because there's no drama there. But why can't brothers get together and get on these platforms and just really keep it 100 and be real without the disrespect? What I've been seeing lately with people my age, I'll be 57 this year, carrying on, making videos about each other, going back and forth, we didn't even do this in high school. And I feel like that saying when they used to have, don't give grandpa the remote control, I feel that that's what happened with us in the YouTube. YouTube has been the remote control. And we just acting crazy. Click, 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 going all over, having a good old time. You're not a celebrity. If you're going to use this platform and get on here, what do you need to go at each other like that? It is sad what I see. It's very sad. And the fact that I have even been using it offline, showing examples to students who I mentor and saying, this is how, see, before all I had was Love and Hip Hop and Atlanta Housewife. Now YouTube has given me a whole lot of stuff to use on what not to do and how to not treat each other. But what I love with what Uncle Stu has done recently in his circle is that he has this platform, and then offline they all got together with people that he met on this platform. I never met Uncle Stu, but I feel like I have hung out with because of the same people we are connected with. And to show that video of all of you in a restaurant breaking bread, laughing, eating together, these were content creators. These are people you met on YouTube. Now, when I see that, that keeps me sticking around. That keeps me going, you know what? Let me tune into this channel. Let me tune into, because I do treat it like a TV set. I don't like, Love and Hip Hop, click. Oh, wait, so-and-so is on. Let me just watch it then. I will do that. But again, not to go in circles, I just love the fact that you keep it 100 on screen and off screen. And the fact that everybody got together. When I saw that, man, I'm like, man, and I was supposed to be there. But, you know, it was my wife's birthday and she wanted to see New Edition. So, hey, that was it.
Look, I'll be seeing them in Memphis. I'm excited.
And just to let you know, Courtney, this is definitely my brother, my love, and my homeboy. And I'll definitely share with you in the backstage. You know, he's good people.
I appreciate that.
He's real good people. And if you want to talk about production, you know, me and you, we ain't got before the billions. We got to go through levels. You know, we got to go past before the billions. Then we got to pass Blind Guy, his wife, their life. Then we got to go past Gail Lockett. And we might hear his voice.
Well, at least I know the steps to get.
Yeah.
I know the steps. All you gotta tell me is how to get there. I make way.
Level to this thing. But
I'm gonna drop my info in the back chat.
All right.
Because I don't like putting it in the chat. The people who have it in the chat, there are people who have it in the chat. Those are the ones who's supposed to have it.
Right.
Because again, these streets, man, you know, I've seen something pop up in my stream of someone making a video about somebody else. Why are we making videos about each other? Pick up the phone and call that person. What is that about? Making videos about each other. I won't watch that, and I don't watch it. You know, but when I see something, when you're talking about, like Tim, the intentional millionaire, talking about fixing your wallet, you know, getting your money right. Oh, I'm gonna click on that. When Uncle Stu is interviewing somebody that's gonna be saying something, I'm gonna click on that. You know, Blind Guy, his wife, their life. I click on that because it's the hour that I'm in meetings or I'm working because I work remote. I keep my YouTube like a radio. And sometimes the stuff that comes on, it's like, I don't like that song, and I click it off. But it's all good. Let me finish typing this in here for you.
Yeah. And I'll say this too, and also for you too, Uncle Stu, it's like I said, being in the public eye and being attacked, I hate that people say that it comes with the territory. It does. There's no way to be prepared for it. Like I said, I've had some of the most nastiest things said about me. Things that I don't even want to repeat, but they've been absolutely disgusting. But I have to believe that I have to stay on my journey and not stoop to any low level, vibrational, low hanging fruit. I can't do that. And I think for me, staying above the fray, it shows in my work and my growth. And my God has always told me that you can, you could tell a man by, the fruit that he bears. And I'm doing well. And Uncle Stu, you're doing well. And again, it's staying above the fray. Let the negativity, the low-hanging fruit, let them play in the mud. Because the thing is, when you play in the mud, you get stuck.
Right.
And I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
So you keep going, and anybody doing this YouTube and stuff, like I said, stay above it, stay above it, stay above it. My mama always told me, baby, they talked about Jesus. Why wouldn't they talk about you?
Yeah.
That's that good southern country. They talked about Jesus, baby. Why wouldn't they talk about you, baby? And I was like, you're right, baby. So I have to keep that in my head again, wanting growth and protecting my sanity.
Yeah, because we when I use the word we, Brown Eyes and I, we are planning in some time to go visit YouTubers right where, in the city and state they're at, and have our time traveling and meeting real people. When we went through our tragedy, we met real people. We got real phone calls from real content creators, from New York to Georgia to, all over. So for me to meet real people and to talk to real people, touch real people, and to hear from real people, that's why I say to everybody, you're not a number to me. You're a human being, because I don't know what you might be going through. So you're a human being. And I'm coming to Tennessee to see a real human being. Then I'm gonna have to XDMC. She don't know we've been around some Dominicans, bro. Bones, bro. We know how to play the bones. Some Dominicans don't play, boy. When it comes to bones. Yeah, you better recognize.
Lord.
Then we got to take from Tennessee all the way down to Texas. I got a red carpet view. I got to go to Texas. So,
That's right.
Did you look in the private chat?
Yes, I got it saved. So I got you.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah.
And I'll put mine in there too, real quick. So you have me, so it's more.
One of the things I typed in earlier in the chat was when you was talking about what we're not doing. And my grandparents, it's not until you get to my age where you realize how fortunate you may have been. And my grandparents always taught us about history that the school didn't teach us. Mm-hmm. They put it on, they did it. They told the stories. And what I love, it made me very proud to be part of my family, because we didn't just talk about history in general. And what's funny is they never called it Black history. They just called it history. Right. But it was with people that looked like me. Mm-hmm. And it was people that related to me. They talked about what people in my family have done. And pretty much to let me know that when you stand, you don't stand by yourself. Even if you are you're alone, you're standing on a lot of shoulders that help get you where you're at. A lot of people paid some prices. And that's why I think when I say we, folks like in my age group, myself, Uncle Stu, Vaughn, Bryant said it the other day in the chat that what he's seeing is so sad. See, because we live through where this can go. See, what we lived through where this would go, it was called East Coast versus West Coast.
Right.
Oh, we lived through where before YouTube happened, folks start beefing on a song or start beefing at a concert and somebody died. Now, I don't want that to be the price in these YouTube streets, but I see where this is going. Because people talk a lot of junk, but somebody, you're going to get that one person that's going to go, you know what? Call my name out. I ain't like that video, but and they're going to take the time. And then we're going to hear about it. And then it's going to be all on the news. And they're going to make a story about YouTube beef turned into someone. And then change happens.
Yeah.
It don't have to go like that. But that's what's coming if we keep acting like that. So what I've been doing is just tuning out. And I don't like doing that because I feel I'm not supporting my people. But I can't support the nonsense. The nonsense is outweighing the positivity. So I'm very selective with that channel. And I've even had my name called out. But see, I can care less because I feel like Dave Chappelle said when he was called out on Twitter, he said, I don't care because Twitter is not real. That's how I feel about YouTube sometimes. Until I met people like Uncle Stu. That I know there are people out here that's real. So you're going to have to just balance it. But everybody's not getting that therapy. They don't know how to separate the two. And they say, wow, my likes going up. You think about it. We live in a world where people base their friends, their worth on how many friends they have on social media. My mind doesn't work like that. And not saying that my generation is better, it's just different. And I try to learn from be it your generation and generation before you, is that when I came up, it was friends that we knew. We had to remember telephone numbers.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I had a little black book.
Yeah, we had to do the
rotary phone.
And then I showed my daughter a typewriter. And they looked at it and it was like, okay, what are you supposed to do with this? I'm like, okay,
not the typewriter, bro. Not the typewriter.
Yeah, because I took my money. I still have it.
Get that white out, mess up, wipe that out. Yeah.
And the response from them was, wow, I feel so sorry for y'all that y'all had to do that. Wow, that's the response. But I know I just went all over the place. But no, I just don't want this to go where we've seen it, Uncle Stu, go during our time, just on different platforms.
The sad part is it's worse. And the reason I say it's worse is because at least when we had the 5 borough rap battles, it was able to still come together and make a whole album called Self-Destruction.
Yeah.
And I've said I was going to really get into this, but I haven't done it yet. It is very ironic to me that after that one album came out, all of a sudden we was pumped with NWA.
Yep.
And when I say that, it was almost as they strategically came out with NWA songs that destroyed what Self-Destruction was trying to do. Self-Destruction did not blame white people. It did not blame the government. Now, yeah, later on we knew in the self-conscious world, but first thing they kept saying is self-destruction.
We headed for
I never had to run from the Ku Klux Klan.
I shouldn't have to run from a black man. Yeah.
I cannot have. I let everybody know in my chat, and I hope y'all hit like and subscribe. When you don't like and go after people, that is the most smiling face person on the planet, just because they didn't agree with you, or maybe because they didn't know that something happened, or maybe they just doing their own job. But I'm going to hate you because of your subscriber count. I'm going to hate you because of how you dressed today. I'm going to hate you because you said this. And I'm going, hate me for what? well, you know, this is what it means to be a man. This is war. Like, who are we fighting? Bruh,
Yeah.
there's 1 billion people on the planet. Why are we fighting? This is the first time, since everybody want to know history and they claim they know history, this is the first time in American history where black people ain't got to fight over no marketing. We ain't got to fight over no marketing, no people, we ain't got to fight. Everybody can get a piece of this pie. Everybody can eat. But no, I rather shame you for your now hear how I say it. I'd rather shame you for your little 5,000.
Yeah.
When there's 1 billion to go grab. The numbers don't add up.
They don't.
I'd rather disrespect you and your whole family to get likes, clicks, and views. But then turn around on another platform and say, the white man. The white man. And I'm waiting on someone to make that make sense to me.
Yeah,
you can't make sense out of nonsense, Uncle Stu.
No, not at all. And we what I like when the pandemic first started and I got introduced to, because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't know none of this. So my YouTube experience is going on to look at Photoshop tutorials, editing movie and reviews about movies and video games. And you see, I was a geek with mine, with YouTube. That's what I used it for.
Right.
And then I started seeing just videos of, I'm gonna say, the manosphere and diasporans leaving, going. That's how I learned the FBA and ADOS, and even though I knew of them before, but I learned mainly of them on YouTube, and then the Pan-Africanism, and then I learned all it, and it was very interesting. And I said, "Is this us finally getting the community back instead of a neighborhood, getting a community back?" And sadly, no, because everybody was fighting each other.
I want you to repeat that. We said, was you here at the very beginning of our conversation?
No.
That's what we talked about.
I want you to tell her about that. We just talked about that. Me and you grew up in the same generation, same place in New York. We just talked about that. Courtney spoke about it from TSU experience. Can you explain that from a New York experience? Because the very thing you just said, I said. That what we grew up in and how it used to be versus what they doing now, I don't know how you want me to respect Pan-Africanism. I don't know how you want me to respect ADOS. I don't know how you want me to respect all the what is it, FBA?
Yeah.
And somebody's gonna probably make a video. But you know what I'm gonna argue? Why do y'all spend so much energy arguing with each other?
Yeah, make it make sense. That's all.
Right.
And communicate. That's the one thing I would say. And again, I'm sorry, Courtney, if it's like you in the middle of two men, old men. But I keep bringing up generation thing. But Uncle Stu's gonna know what I'm talking about with this. And I hate going here, but I'm gonna go here because I don't like talking politics. But when we were coming up, let's say during the Reagan era, the Reagan Republicans, I understood, and I was able to have a conversation and agree to disagree. We were able to sit across the table and speak. Not sometimes it got heated, but it was never like vicious. These Republicans today and these Democrats today, I have no idea who they are. What happened that we can't sit in the same room and not get so heated? And Remember back in the day, you would just be it in a club or something, and you're arguing and you didn't have nothing else to say because that guy was winning. And what's the first thing to come out your mouth when you didn't have nothing? Oh yeah, your mother. And it just didn't even make sense then. Now, I'd rather hear that than what's being done now.
Yeah.
That's confirmation for the conversation we had much earlier. You know, I said to Courtney, I don't intellectual debates. Let me throw this out at you, XDMC. One of the things that was brought out earlier in conversation was seeing Black women intellectuals and seeing two Black women have an intellectual conversation. I grew up where that was norm. I mean, whether it was hearing somebody out of Hunter College or hearing a Black woman out of City College or hearing a Black woman out of Columbia, but they had intellectual conversation. No belittling of men, no belittling of you. They just had conversation. Dude, and I brought that to Courtney's experience. Am I off? Did I miss something? What do you see that?
I'm sorry, you was asking.
Yeah. Do you see the female intellectual conversations?
I do see it start off. Sometimes I don't see it finish that way, but I do see it. But I don't see it unless somebody sends me the link. I don't really see it on YouTube. I see it outside of YouTube. I don't see it on YouTube often, but I would say I see it more than I see it with us as far as the men on how we getting down now. I expect certain things from, don't take this as a shot of chauvinist, but I expect certain things from women energy. I expect certain emotions.
The cattiness.
Yeah, I expect that. Not to, as long as it doesn't go disrespectful. I expect, how women communicate with each other. And then when they lose it, I don't expect a drink to be thrown in each other's face. But what I'm starting to see is that energy. I'm seeing that energy with the brothers. And I'm going, wait, what? It's from the outside looking in. I mean, I'm a subscriber. I do have a channel. I just don't promote it, but I'm watching content. I don't have time to really make content because of what I do. So I'm watching and I want to support people. That's why I do people intros and things of that sort. I want to support. And when I see some of the things that I'm seeing with the men, I'm going, do they see it? Do they play back their own videos and see what they just did or what they just said? How is it helping the community, especially when you come on and you say your thing is building the community and building a network for us to work together? And I haven't seen any work done. Maybe it has been, and I just haven't seen it. Yeah. And then, like I said, I have been tuning out a lot lately too. So, but I know you have to, Jet sis, I have to also. I don't want to. But what I will say is the person who I do like that's in the chat, his network is Sir Hell Speaks. I do watch them.
He's amazing.
I do watch them.
Yeah,
he's amazing.
I have to say this, Tiana, I need you to come on this platform. If I keep saying your name over and over and over, people going to think I don't have a child. My daughter sent me a $1 super chat. Tiana, this is strictly for you. Strictly for you. But Deanna, you better come on this platform before Courtney goes.
I gotta.
The XDFC, I'm always talking about her. And then when I have the people that I want her to meet, it's like she disappeared.
But she said that dollar.
There you go.
Yeah, she said my dollar. She said that dollar.
And you know, since it's your daughter that sent you a dollar, you know that's a loan.
Don't worry about camming up.
You're gonna get it back. You gotta get that dollar back.
Cam up.
Right. And double it.
Yeah, I gotta double it now. Be like, thanks for the super chat. Courtney Michelle, I want you to meet the one. Uncle Stu's firstborn. She ain't cammed up. She's the only one that cannot cam up.
It's all good because I've seen her off cam before. I've seen her cammed up before.
Yep.
Hey, firstborn.
Oh,
are you on mute? She might be on mute.
She should
okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay.
Hey, darling.
I think my signal is moving. Hello, how are you? How is everybody? I don't want to be rude. Let me say hey to everyone.
How you doing, sister?
Doing good. Pops had a great stream, but he always does. Does he greet you when you see him like he greets everybody else? There go my firstborn! Hallelujah for the theater, the miracle. Hallelujah for the firstborn.
Yep. That's Uncle Stu.
As Uncle Stu. Does he do that?
I don't know.
That's good. That's good.
I don't know if I'm at church. If I'm at church or I'm at the wrestling match.
I'm doing good, Uncle Stu.
You did. You did. That was a good impersonation.
I have to rewind to make sure I catch your intro because I know he was definitely doing this woman. This woman. So I got to make sure I do that, you know, because that's copyrighted. You know, him and Corey have their copyright intros.
I love it.
But you know, I always give praise to Tiana because before I started YouTube, this was the person that I spoke to. Like, okay, this is what we're gonna talk about. This is what we're gonna do, and you know, we had to go through some hardcore stuff. Like, hey, we're gonna talk about the past. We're gonna talk about the good. We're gonna talk about the bad. So my attitude is, at this stage of the game, somebody want to talk about everything I did in the past. That's fine. I got to go forward.
That's right.
You know, I got to go forward. My daughter watched me come from nothing to right where I'm at right now. You know, people don't know what it was like back in the days when you couldn't even talk to your child. You know, when y'all was duking it out for real. Like, knuckle up, let's get this going. You know, to the point where it's like, hey, what you doing tonight? Hey, what y'all up to? Took a long road, but we got here. So it is what it is. Life is gonna happen.
Yeah, that's God's grace.
Yes.
His grace and his mercy is new every day. So we have to extend that.
Yeah. I'm a run, and I know somebody better get their child to bed because the child gonna be thinking they child thinking I'm going to the club.
Yeah,
look,
I already said I was gonna blame mine on somebody else. So it was like, okay, let me get her back to me and mommy. You know.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me up, Uncle Stu. We'll be chatting in. Excellent work with all of y'all getting together again off of YouTube and showing that a community can be built. That this can be real. You know, and when the community is being built, there's money. There's enough for everybody to eat.
Yeah.
You know, there's enough. I'm good with that. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. One love,
family.
It
was nice to meet you.
You too, sister. Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Courtney, did you get everything off of the private chat?
I did.
Okay, because I'm about to shut down the broadcast, and I don't know if I'm going to lose the private chat information.
I have it saved, so thank you.
All right.
So much. It has been an absolute pleasure, and I will bring my aunt Matt.
Listen, and tell your girl, Kay.
I'm gonna call her when I get out.
She been running from the brother.
I don't know why she running. Don't be scared. I tell you, don't be scared.
I told you, I'm putting the hashtag on. I survived K. I got the shirt.
Did you start that?
No, I didn't.
Someone was there. No, it was on my channel. That caught wind. People still saying
hashtag I survived K.
Yeah, people still saying that.
And we told her, get the cup, girl. And say, yeah, can you survive me?
Right.
Market it.
I'll get her tail together.
All right. And Seattle Black Veteran, thank you for the $10 super chat. Nothing but love. Appreciate you, my brother. To everybody in the chat, I want to thank you. And once again, I want to thank my firstborn. I want to thank Courtney Michelle. I want to thank each and every single one of you. I hope that y'all got at least something out of this conversation. If nothing else, you got to see a grown man and a grown woman. Matter of fact, grown man, grown woman. And my daughter grown, she ain't a child. Although she's going to be my baby, but she's not a child. Having grown adult conversations up here. As my daughter would always say, sometimes we got to have those hard conversations so that we can heal. And trust me, my daughter is having those real hardcore, deep level conversations for healing. And that's what we're about. We know what it's like to struggle. We know what it's like to walk around in hurt, in pain, and in misery. So we understand that. We've been there, done that, and we got the t-shirt. But we surviving and living and doing good now by the grace of God. Amen. So to everybody, Uncle Stu says, peace.
It was nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too, firstborn.